Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and this is the Drops episode for Week 7 of the fantasy hockey season. Now, sometimes we draft a player that we think is going to be amazing the season coming up. For example, Andrew Mangiapane. A lot of people were super high on him in the offseason. I wasn't particularly high on him, but a lot of people really were. Andrew Mangiapane has been an absolute disappointment this year, and he has been dropped in a lot of leagues, and he should continue to be dropped because he really has not been that great. Now, in this video, we're not going to talk about Andrew Mangiapane, but we are going to talk about some other guys that we should consider dropping from our lineups because they're just not doing enough to merit being there. Now, before we get started though, guys, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. If you do want to take your support to the next level, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Let's jump right into it now, and let's start with some forwards that you should consider dropping from your team. And first on the list, and this is a spicy one, Taylor Hall of the Boston Bruins, 56% rostered. And he just has not been great this year, guys. And as of late, has not been producing at all. Earlier, he was a little bit better, but still nothing too special. And the underlying metrics don't really suggest that he's going to be that much better. His shooting percentage is actually pretty high, and his honest shooting percentage is a tad bit low, but nothing too crazy. So I don't think Taylor Hall is necessarily going to do that much better in the future. And if there are better guys out there on the waiver wire for you, definitely grab them. In super deep leagues, I'm hanging on to Taylor Hall because there's nothing out there that's better than him. But in shallower leagues, he's definitely droppable. And then I have Seth Jarvis of the Carolina Hurricanes, and despite playing on the top line the entire season, he's done absolutely nothing, had a couple of very small hot streaks, but other than that, has been really bad. At this point, I am dropping him. I'm done with Seth Jarvis. And the next one, I have Matty Beniers, and a lot of you guys might freaking out that I have Matty Beniers here, but honestly, guys, he hasn't been that great. He puts up points every now and then, but the peripherals aren't that great, and just those points alone are not enough to make him really worth being owned in more than the deepest of leagues. Then I have Alexis Lafreniere, who's back to playing on the third line in New York, which is pretty disappointing. And were we all fools to finally think that this would be his breakout season? He's still not doing very well, and at this point, I'm done with him once again for another year. I'm dropping Alexis Lafreniere. And then finally, I have Miles Wood of the New Jersey Devils. He's a fourth liner for New Jersey. Had definitely a pretty big hot streak at one point, but guys, it's really hard to justify owning a fourth line player more than just a couple games. Definitely, I'm not super high on Miles Wood. He's a drop in pretty much every league. Jumping into defensemen now, and first on the list is Mackenzie Weegar of the Calgary Flames, 88% roster. And I absolutely love Weegar. I call him the wee goat around here, but he has not been very good this year. Now, normally, he puts up some really solid peripherals. Along with that, he puts up a point every couple games or so, and he has just not been putting up any kind of offense this season. Through 15 games, he only has 4 points. And to top that off, the peripherals haven't even been that great so far this year. Now, Weegar is definitely someone that I still have hope for, so if I'm in a deeper league, I'm not letting go of Weegar. But if I'm in a shallower league where there's plenty of good defensemen that are still available, that's where I'm starting to drop Mackenzie Weegar, because at this point, it's getting really frustrating waiting for him. Then I have Owen Power of the Buffalo Sabres, 65% rostered. And without the top power play time that Rasmus Dahlin has, Owen Power just doesn't have that much value. Yeah, he had a hot streak recently. People added him once again, but that's not going to be sustainable because of the lack of power play time. And that's why he's a drop in the vast majority of leagues. Then I have John Klingberg, 63% rostered. And yeah, he also had a hot streak recently, but the peripherals aren't very good for Klingberg at all. And if he's not scoring points or if he's not doing a whole lot of anything, he could definitely be owned in deeper leagues because he is a top power play defenseman. But in shallower leagues, there's just really no reason to own Klingberg at all. Then I have Jacob Slavin of the Carolina Hurricanes, 34% rostered. And with Burns there, he's getting all the power play time. Slavin is just not putting up a lot of points and not putting up a lot of peripherals either. There's no reason he should still be 34% rostered. And then I have Keandre Miller of the New York Rangers, 25% rostered. And I told you guys from the start, do not draft this guy. And if you did draft him, drop him. He hasn't done a whole lot of anything. He doesn't get power play time, so he doesn't really put up points. And his peripherals, not that great. As good of a real-life defenseman as he is, for fantasy, there's no reason to have him on your team. get rid of them. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. If you do want to take your support to the next level, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.